Well guys, here it is. My DR650. And I fucking hate this bike. Why, you may ask? Well, let me learn you something. First off, is the tires. Got a decent amount of meat on them. Looks like they wouldn't be too bad. On the street, not horrible. Dirt, that's a completely different story. Bridgestone calls these things the trail wings. DR650, it's a dual sport bike. You might hit the trails. No. You get these things in the dirt, you may as well be riding a supermoto. It is all over the place. They have zero traction in the dirt. It's skating left and right all the time. So number one, tires. Number two is going to be suspension. Now, the suspension that's set up on here is very simple. It's a damper rod setup. So you got the fork seals up on top underneath the fork boots. But it is way undersprung. And you can only do so much with damper rods. They're cheap and easy to make, but holy crap. Man, look at this. I'm just going to hold the front brake. Look at that nosedive. That is one-handed. When you're on the brakes, if you have to get on the brakes hard, it feels like the front tire is just going to fold up right underneath you. It is horrible. So, moving on is going to be the ergonomics. The bars are too low. The pegs are too high. The grips, this waffle pattern, seat feels like a fucking 2x4. So the way it's set up, it feels like if you're about 5'7", 5'8", that'd be perfect, But for somebody that's 6'3", like I am, my knees are sitting about right here when I'm riding, just because of how high the pegs are. So next thing is attention to detail. I am appalled at the way Suzuki lets these things roll out of the factory. The wheel bearings, front and rear, only have a seal on one side of it. The header pipe has a nasty little booger of a weld right there where the flange is. Just seriously, the stem bearings don't have anywhere near enough grease. It looks like they just opened a can of grease and just waved them over the top and then put them in the bike. So the attention to detail, the quality control really needs to be addressed. Up until recently, the countershaft seal retainer back here was not a factory installed item. Suzuki knew that the seals were blowing out on the countershaft seal and dumping the entire contents of your transmission all over your rear tire whenever you're going whatever speed. And so they knew that it was a problem. They would sell them separately, kind of as a, hey, we fucked up, we know we did, but give us another $15 and we'll give you the part to fix it properly. So, the newer bikes have the countershaft seal retainer. The newer bikes have the metal base gasket. They did away with the little cotter pin that went in here and actually put a locking nut on there, which I was happy to see. But I mean, come on, the bike has gone, without major changes since 1996. So for them to take this long to get that little shit is horrible. Moving back is going to be the exhaust. As you can see, I've already swapped this one out. The factory exhaust is just fucking massive. Huge. I'd say it weighs a good 20 pounds, 20 to 25 pounds. And it is so restrictive with just the internal design that it makes it so quiet. The bike maybe 40, 50 decibels. This one, I couldn't hear the bike at all when I'm cruising down the road. So I swapped this one out. This one's sitting at about 90 decibels. It's a hell of a lot lighter. Bike runs a little better too. So moving on is going to be the carburetor. Now, the BSC40, this is a very forgiving carburetor. You don't have to rejet it when you're going up in altitude. You don't have to rejet it for different temperatures, but it's about as basic as you can get. it is a vacuum actuated carburetor, so there is nothing connecting the throttle, the tube on the bars, directly to the the inlet of fuel. So when you twist the throttle, it opens this little cam right here, and it has a butterfly inside. That allows the engine to pull a little bit more air, which creates a vacuum in the carburetor, and it has a diaphragm on the top. That diaphragm gets sucked up, and then it pulls the slide up, pulls the needle out of the jets. Gives this thing a pretty bad off-idle bog, and just doesn't allow you to really get the potential out of this engine. Another problem with the injection or the inlet side is, as you can see, there's no canister fuel filter. It has this little itty bitty plastic, you know, and it might have, you know, a cotton filament or a screen, whatever, I don't know. But it's got this little filament that's down inside the inlet as a filter. That's just bad news. I hate it. So that's going to be one of the things that I do fairly soon, is I'm going to put a real fuel filter on here. Dealing with the carburetor and the booger of a weld on the exhaust is power. For being a 650, this thing is kind of shocking on how little power it's got. It's sitting right around the same power range as the DR650. And granted, those are stock numbers, so you get the super restrictive exhaust off of here. It opens it up a little bit. You get the snorkel off the airbox. It opens it up a little bit. You get that booger of a weld off the head pipe, and it helps it breathe a little bit better. Hell, you even do what I'm going to do and throw a FCR 39 motocross style carburetor in here. Completely different bike. It wakes it up so much. But along with the power problem is the weight. This thing is a fat bitch. 340, 350 pounds, something like that. So it doesn't get up and move a whole lot. You know, it's a bush pig for a reason. You know, that's how it got its nickname. Is it's slow, it lugs around. You're not going to be setting any land speed records with this bike. It's a heavy bitch. And compared to the weight ratio, the DRZ400 and this are sitting at the same power. The DRZ400, I want to say, is like 320. So this has an extra 30 to 40 pounds with the same amount of power. That is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Moving on. I don't know what number I'm on, but screw it. I just kind of threw this together, didn't write them down. Next one is going to be the safety switches. Now, this bike has a total of 4, technically. It has a clutch safety switch. So, right in here, this little guy, if you do not pull the clutch in, whether you're in neutral or not, you can't start the bike. Now, click this on, see I'm in neutral, nothing happens. As soon as I pull the clutch, she'll fire right up. Now, that one is relatively easy to take care of. It's just 2 bullet connectors, one female, one male, on the harness side. Unplug the safety switch off the clutch, plug those back into each other on the harness, good to go. Another one is right down here. It's a kickstand safety switch. So if you don't have the kickstand up and you try to start the bike when it's in gear, whether you have the clutch pulled in or not, it won't start. Now, problem arises if you're going down a trail or you're going down a bumpy road and you start bouncing. You get, let's see, right there. That's out. So from there, that's all the movement you've got in the kickstand. And it'll kill the bike. If that kickstand drops farther than that, it'll kill the bike. Both of these switches tie into a relay that's under the seat. So you can clip wires, you can solder, you can do whatever the fuck you're gonna do. But if you don't eliminate that relay, that's one more thing that could possibly go wrong while you're riding. That relay decides that it doesn't want to work anymore, even though it's not getting voltage, it's going to kill the bike, no matter what. Now, I understand that there are some people that don't like to pull the clutch in, that leave their bike in gear, and they're going to be perched on the edge of a cliff. Oh my God. And they're going to hit that starter button, and it's going to send them off the cliff. And, you know, if you're that dumb on a bike, you kind of deserve to be at the bottom of that cliff. But for everybody else, it's kind of an insult, you know, to put this much equipment to keep you from starting the bike. And it's like, oh yeah, we know you guys are dumb, so we're going to put all this shit to help you. Yeah, no. So that's going to be getting taken care of. Now, my last one, let me see here. Got tires, got suspension, got ergonomics, got the exhaust, attention to detail, carburetor, the power, the weight. I'm missing some. The safety switches. Yeah, so this will be number 10. This one's just a personal gripe, but what is this? That is, that's just nasty. You know, you got a huge Lego block of a tail light right here that your foot has a tendency to hit when you're not lifting your leg high enough, swinging it over. Otherwise, you'll catch your foot on the turn signals. But I'm going to be swapping this out for the DR650. Yep, tail light, just a little, gets rid of that. And then this, seriously, Suzuki, why are you going to make a motorcycle that is classified as a dual sport? So you know people are going to be taking it off-road, and you're going to put this back here. That's just something else to get caught. That's something else to hit. You know, it's unnecessary. You know, put the license plate up here. You know, tuck it out of the way. You know, simple. There I go, making sense. You know, the government's gonna be knocking on my door trying to arrest me for conspiracy now because I'm making sense. Oh shit. Well, that is why I hate the DR650.